tonight, a woman is dead after a fatal crash in Micoud. Criticism for St. Lucia's decision to attend a U.S. Caribbean meeting in Jamaica and praise for Barbados and Trinidad stands. And the mystery virus that first appeared in China has now killed 17 people and has St. Lucia's Health Department on high alert. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of January, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow, channel 117. The broadcast is also being simulcast on Kiss FM Radio. You can watch via our website. It's www.caribbeanhottv.com or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The forceful impact of a crash involving a Suzuki Vitara and a Mercedes-Benz car has claimed the life of Teresa Jules. The accident took place on Wednesday morning in the community of Micoud. Jules, a resident of Monrepo, Micoud, was pronounced dead at about 8:05 a.m. after being rushed to St. Jude Hospital. Reports are that 2 men were also seriously injured in the crash. They were transported to hospital via ambulance. The matter is currently under police investigation. This is the second road fatality so far for the year 2020. Community activist Aaron Alexander is calling on St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastney to take a page from the books of leaders like Barbados's Mia Mottley and Antigua's Gaston Brown. Alexander is critical of the decision by some Caribbean leaders to attend a meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State. He says Mottley got it right when she called the move divisive and chose not to send her foreign affairs minister.
Barbados's Prime Minister Mia Mottley has come in for high praise from community activist Aaron Alexander, who supports her stance to not have Barbados participate in the U.S. Caribbean talks in Jamaica this week. Mottley, who is the current chairman of CARICOM, viewed the invitation to only some Caribbean countries as an attempt to cause division among the Caribbean grouping and so declined to send Barbados's foreign minister to the forum. Foreign ministers of only 6 Caribbean countries are in attendance: the Bahamas, Belize, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. Alexander says with Mottley's decision, she is proving to be a formidable leader. He says her eyes are open to the U.S.'s hidden agenda.
Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, have demonstrated in many ways that she is a tough leader. And she has made some moves in recent times that I would consider to be moves of a serious and a great leader, because she's a no-nonsense person and she does what is in the best interest of Barbados. And she being the chairman of CARICOM at this time, I believe her stance she has taken recently in choosing not to send her foreign affairs minister to attend that meeting in Jamaica with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. I think that is a great decision, because the U.S. have been on a path of divide and rule, where the U.S. is trying to see how much they could divide Caribbean leaders, get some on their side, because they have this secret agenda to invade Venezuela.
Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley later joined Mia Mottley's boycott, announcing on Monday that he would also not be taking part in the meeting. Alexander is highly critical of St. Lucia's decision to attend the meeting.
Some of the other CARICOM leaders keep bowing to the U.S., keep being the puppet of the U.S., including St. Lucia, and that is the road that we're going down at this point in time. But it takes real leaders to stand up to the great mighty USA, to let them know that though we might be small, but we have our integrity, we have our morality, and we have our serious stance that we can take as well. So CARICOM have to move as a block, and America is trying to divide that block so they can do what they want within the Caribbean region. So I admire the leadership of Mia Mottley and the stance she has taken. And I feel St. Lucia's Prime Minister need to take a page out of leaders like Mia Mottley and even Gaston Brown in recent times, the stance that they have taken to show the United States that though we are small island developing states, that at least we have a voice too, and it could be a mighty voice.
Last year, leaders of Jamaica, St. Lucia, the Bahamas, Haiti, and Dominica met privately with U.S. President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Shortly after, the same nation sided with the Lima Group to back Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido as the head of state. CARICOM officially recognizes Nicolas Maduro as Venezuela's president and has condemned efforts at political interference in Venezuela.
Meanwhile, the MP for Castries South, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, is also questioning why St. Lucia agreed to attend the meeting that has been described as an attempt to divide the region. Solange Alfred tells us more.
United we stand, divided we fall. This is according to MP for Castries South, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, as he questions recent actions taken by St. Lucia to not stand in solidarity with Prime Minister for Barbados and Chair of CARICOM, Mia Mottley. Mottley's recent decision to refuse to allow her Minister for Foreign Affairs to attend a high-level meeting in Jamaica with U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has garnered reaction from both ends of the spectrum. However, Dr. Hilaire is of the opinion Mottley made the right call.
I think we should all applaud Mia Mottley and the Prime Minister of Antigua and all the other Prime Ministers that have taken a very firm line that they will not allow the United States to divide and rule the Caribbean. And St. Lucia continues to be part of that. We are a Caribbean region. If the United States or any foreign power wants to have discussion on the Caribbean and the positions taken by the Caribbean, they should involve the Caribbean. It cannot make sense that they would pluck out one or two or three prime ministers, pull them into secret chambers, and use that kind of divide and rule approach. We should not be part of that. St. Lucia should not be part of that.
Dr. Hilaire points the finger at Minister for Foreign Affairs, Sarah Flood Bobre. He says the public is unaware of where St. Lucia stands as a country, as according to him, the foreign policy of the island is in shambles.
Our foreign minister should not be attending any meeting unless the entire Caribbean is there. It's a different thing if, in the case of Mia Mottley, if she was invited, if she acting on behalf of CARICOM. But it's not that. I mean, they want to pull out certain prime ministers and break up the unity of the Caribbean. And it's so unfortunate that St. Lucia is part of that.
He went on to draw reference to the issue of the situation in Venezuela, using it as an example of U.S.-based agendas being forced onto Caribbean islands.
Again, this is another one. I mean, we respect other people's right to self-determination, their right to solve their problems internally, and for us not to be intervening in those domestic affairs. Unless they are crimes against humanity and war crimes, we really ought not to involve the domestic affairs of countries, And then you find St. Lucia recognizing someone else as a president, not recognizing a legitimate diplomatic representative of that state because you support somebody else to be president. And it's basically because the U.S. has pushed that agenda on us.
Expressing shame and disgust, he says once again, St. Lucia is failing to stand up on matters of principle with the wider Caribbean. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The World Health Organization, WHO, is holding a crucial emergency meeting in Geneva, Switzerland to discuss the novel coronavirus outbreak. The UN body will decide if the outbreak of the new Chinese strain is a public health emergency of international concern. Such a declaration would be significant and would mean that the WHO thinks immediate and coordinated international action is needed to contain the virus and stop its spread. The virus has already caused deaths in China and caused hundreds of others to fall sick across Asia. Shaka Wooding reports.
In a message released on social media platforms, the World Health Organization said Director General Tedros will convene an emergency committee on the novel coronavirus under the international health regulations. with the aim of ascertaining whether the outbreak constitutes a public health emergency of international concern and what recommendations should be used to manage it. Later on Tuesday, World Health Organization authorities said that there were 440 confirmed cases and 6 deaths.
So far, worldwide, there has been a total of 278 officially reported confirmed cases of 2019 novel coronavirus. So far, 4 cases have been reported outside China, 2 in Thailand, 1 in Japan, and 1 in the Republic of Korea. This is what we have been informing you about previously. More cases should be expected in other parts of China and possibly other countries in coming days. A team from WHO are concluding a mission with health officials in Wuhan, working on the response.
Symptoms of novel coronavirus are high fever with respiratory symptoms including coughing, shortness of breath, rapid breathing, a sore throat, or a runny nose. The international dimension to the outbreak was first reported on January 13th, with news that a traveler from China was being treated with the virus in Thailand. On Monday, Wuhan's health authorities said that some 15 medical workers have been infected by human-to-human contamination, possibly due to contact with patients, and that 1 is in critical condition.
Based on current information, an animal source seems the most likely primary source of this outbreak, with limited human-to-human transmission occurring between close contacts. Based on previous experience with respiratory illnesses, and in particular with other coronavirus outbreaks, and our analysis of data shared by China, human-to-human transmission is occurring. Reports suggest that novel coronavirus infection can cause mild to severe disease and be fatal in some. Based on current data, some new cases seem to experience milder disease, which is within the milder end of the spectrum of symptoms caused by respiratory illnesses.
Evidence highly suggests that the outbreak is associated with exposures in one seafood market in Wuhan. However, the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced that a case had been confirmed in Washington state. On Saturday, millions of persons will cross China as they travel to celebrate the Spring Festival or Chinese New Year. This also risks complicating efforts to contain the virus. Jacques Wooding for Hot 7 News.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health and Wellness in St. Lucia says it continues to monitor the alerts issued by the World Health Organization in relation to the new strain of coronavirus discovered in central China. As of Wednesday, the 21st of January, it has spread to at least 4 other countries, including the United States of America. Due to the novelty of the virus, the WHO and other international partners continue to investigate and provide guidance to the international community. St. Lucia's Department of Health and Wellness also maintains communication with regional partners and says it will continue to provide the public with information as it becomes available. In the interim, the public is asked to continue practicing the standard recommendations to prevent the spread of infection. These include regular hand washing with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer where soap and water is not available, to cover your mouth and nose with disposable tissues or clothing when coughing and sneezing, to avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness such as coughing and sneezing, to seek medical attention and share your travel history with your healthcare provider if you have symptoms suggestive of respiratory illness either during or after traveling. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, Dr. Ernest Hilaire says he is treading carefully as he pursues his precedent-setting case. Debate rages on about the provocativeness of carnival costumes, and CMOS thieves are said to be wreaking havoc on the local industry. That and more when we return.